What's good, YouTube? It's your boy, Blue Blood Sports TV, back at y'all with another one. So, I wanted to talk about something that's very, very important. As we know how society is changing every single day. But now it's spilling over to sports. More importantly, the sport of boxing. Preference, transgenders, lifestyle and sexual choices is just that, your personal preference, your choice. No problem with it. When we start to mix and match is where I have a problem. And Good Morning Britain held a segment to which the gentleman, I don't know his name, and there's a woman on there, I don't know her name. She represents the transgender community. And they brought up transgenders in the sport of boxing. And obviously, legendary, retired, iconic Hall of Fame superstar boxer, the man known as Money, former pound-for-pound king, 5-division world champion, pay-per-view king, retired, 50-0. 50 wins, no loss, no draw, 27 big wins by way of knockout, 5'8" with a 72-inch arm reach. He's now 45 years of age, and he's doing exhibitions in Floyd Mayweather Jr. Floyd Mayweather's name came up. And the woman that's representing and defending the transgender community, the topic came up of transgenders participating in the Olympics and the unfair advantages it has, right? Because you have males who identify as females and they're participating in women's sports and dominating women's sports because they're actually males, right? So regardless of your preference and what you identify as, the facts remain is you were born a male and you are participating in a female sport. So you're going to have a physical advantage. Okay. This is not just regular life. This is sports and competition. So you're naturally going to have a physical strength, speed, size advantage because you are naturally born man competing in a woman's sport. And so while this gentleman is defending this issue, he goes and he says, well, what about women participating in boxing? Transgenders, should they participate and face off against males? And so this woman that's defending the transgender community and representing the transgender community, she says that Floyd Mayweather should not discriminate. And if there's a weight class that fits the bill for a transgender woman that can compete and is big enough to compete in Floyd Mayweather's weight class, then Floyd Mayweather ought to give her or him the opportunity and fight against them and face them. And so the other gentleman on the panel, he says this is absolutely ridiculous and it's absurd. And obviously the woman representing and defending the transgender community, she got upset and she goes, well, what's the problem? It's discriminatory. And, obviously she goes into it being, transphobic. He says it's not. It has nothing to do with that. It has everything to do with the fact that the woman is born a woman. Now, what she identifies as is what she identifies as. And there's no problem with that. But at the end of the day, regardless of what her mind and what she feels and what she identifies with, her physical being, she's born to a woman's body. That can't change, ever change. So you can change the sex, but you cannot change the fact that you are a woman, period. And so he's saying that her competing against the greatest boxer in the history of the sport of boxing, arguably, and somebody who's dominant and physical, you're telling us that he should give a woman, essentially, because that's what it is, because she identifies as a male, the opportunity and fight said woman. And this woman is saying, what's the problem, right? It's, it is discriminatory, right? And so I'm going to play a clip of this, just let you hear a little bit of it, because of certain purposes. But the gentleman on the panel gets absolutely heated, and I'm sure he's gonna face some serious backlash because it's going to be taken completely out of context what he's saying and how he's saying it because of the manner of his tone. So it's going to be completely taken out of content. The message that he's trying to relay is going to get completely taken out of content, and it's going to become something completely different. It's going to become something that people are going to say, well, you don't want women to have equal rights, so on and so forth. That's what it's going to become, right? His whole point and his whole message is going to be completely overlooked. But the fact that he said that it's ridiculous, it's absurd, those type of words that he used, that's going to be highlighted, right? So this is Good Morning Britain. It's in the UK. And so this lady, she starts off by saying, I'm going to play the beginning when she starts off by saying, if there's a weight class for it, he should make it happen. And the guy is saying, so you believe that Floyd Mayweather should fight a transgender woman who's born into a woman body? And she says, yes. As the conversation goes on, it gets more and more aggressive. But I just want you guys to hear the beginning part of this and how it started and how it is ridiculous.
Who is pound for pound the most successful boxer in male history, you would let him in a year's time compete at the same weight against women?
Yeah, if there's a weight category.
This is nonsense. I'm sorry.
It's absolute
How
garbage.
could you possibly countenance putting Floyd Mayweather, the most dangerous boxer pound for pound, arguably in the history of boxing, into a ring with women born to female bodies? This is where the argument becomes utterly ridiculous. And it's not transphobic to say so. It's common sense. You would let Floyd Mayweather, who is pound for pound the most successful boxer in male history, you would let him in a year's time compete at the same weight against women?
Yeah, if there's a weight category.
This is nonsense. I'm sorry.
It's absolute garbage.
How could you possibly countenance putting Floyd Mayweather, the most dangerous boxer pound for pound, arguably in the history of boxing, into a ring with women born to female bodies? This is where the argument becomes utterly ridiculous. And it's not transphobic to say so. It's common sense. You would.
So she goes on to say it's not ridiculous. So his tone, right, and the message is going to get overlooked, and the fact that he was over talking her, and then she started over talking him. And she's saying that has nothing to do with the fact that she's born into a woman's body. It should be equal rights, and we shouldn't discriminate against anybody. And if that's the choice and there's a weight class that presents it, and, Floyd Mayweather should do it. He's doing exhibition bouts. He's giving everybody else. See, it turns into something completely different. He's having exhibition bouts against men. He's not having exhibition bouts against females that identify as males. He's having exhibition bouts against men who participate. They're not. So what she goes on to say is that she's alluding to, well, these guys are not professional boxers that he's competing against in an exhibition style. Well, but they're still men. Yeah, they may not be professional boxers to the level of Floyd Mayweather, but they're still men. Right. And so the point gets completely misconstrued and overlooked. And I'm sure that this gentleman is going to face all types of heat for this, because it's the tone and the wordplay that he used to say it's ridiculous and it's nonsense. And then he goes on to say it should just be common sense. So those types of words, it's not going to bowl over well. Trust me. And, but it just gets, I understand, and to each his own. Let me say this, disclaimer, to each his own. I don't have a problem with what you identify with. But when you start to have grown men, physical men, because they wake up one day and they say, I identify as a female, they should be able to participate amongst women. No, you could be 6'4" and 220 pounds. Now you're going to be competing against women because you identify as a female. And there's women participating in sports. Let's say boxing, who's 5'3" and you know, she weighs 120 pounds. You know, boxing has weight classes, but you know, you look in track and field and you look at the WNBA. So, you know, it's ironic. That movie, Joanna Man, was way ahead of its time, or maybe they knew something we didn't. But remember, they had the character in Joanna Man was a male participating in women's basketball because he was kicked out of men's basketball and he didn't have no way to earn a living. So he decided to dress up and portray as a woman and participate in female basketball. And he was absolutely dominating because he's a man. And ultimately, at the end, his true identity was revealed when he went up and did something that women can't do. The message in that movie will get overlooked. He went up and he forgot for a second. He got caught up in the moment. He went up, he went on a fast break, ran up and to dunk the basketball, and I believe he broke the backboard and shattered the backboard. And obviously women can't jump that high. They're not as physically strong. And then he came down and his wig and everything came off and he didn't even realize, and in excitement and being in the moment, started jumping up and down, clapping, and the whole arena is looking at him and realized this is a man all along. No wonder you was dominating this sport. Because you're physically superior, period. I have no issue with identifying with who and what you want to be. But when it comes to competition and combat, there's no place for that, period. But let me know what y'all think. Drop a comment in the comment section. That's all I got for y'all. Y'all already know what it is. It's your boy Blue, Blue Blood Sports TV. Hate, like, comment, and subscribe. You haven't subscribed, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, hit the bell icon to get all the new notifications. Follow me on Instagram at Blue Blood Sports TV, all one word. Y'all already know what it is. Shout out to the entire LDBC. Shout out to Black Media Raw. Make sure you like and share these videos. That's all I got for y'all. Peace.